Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'm Kenneth Woodson, Board Chair. We will formally open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review for today, August 29th, 2024. The board will introduce itself. Then we will hear from the Law Department that will give us a list of all cases that have been resolved or if there are formal requests for continuances. I would say to everyone, just please be advised, this is a formal hearing, as if you were in a actual courtroom. So please prepare yourself to actively engage. No reclining in your chair or in your bed. Please be dressed properly. Men, remove your hats. No eating, drinking, otherwise socializing during the process. And we ask everyone who is, when the case is called, please be seated in one place. We can't conduct a hearing if you're walking around or if you're driving. If you're driving, we will not do a hearing. So you must be parked in a safe place. Thank you very much. The board will now introduce itself as well as the other panelists, and then we will get started. I'm Kenneth Woodson, Board Chair.
I'm Ralph Pincus, and if I might add, we have a list of over 30 cases, so it's quite possible that your case may not be heard for a little while, so you'll have to be patient until we do get to your case. Thank you.
I'm Steve Pettit, board member.
Roger Eston, a senior board member.
Okay. Mr. Emerson?
Oh, sorry. Hillary Emerson, Board Counsel.
Richard Wade, Board Administrator.
Thank you very much. I believe that's everyone. We will now hear from the Law Department for a list of all matters. And before the Law Department representative speaks, I just want to advise everyone, please listen closely. If your address or your name is called and the status is listed as either moot or moot complied, that means your matter is resolved for today. You're free to sign off. If you want to stay on because this is a public hearing, you are perfectly fine in doing so. Yeah, that's okay. But if you need to understand better the difference between moot and moot complied, do not break into the hearing to ask that question. Please call the office. That phone number will be on the decision letter that you receive that will describe for you the difference, and someone there at the office can give you time to educate you on the differences between a moot and a moot complied case. Okay, let's hear from the Law Department.
Good afternoon, board members. This is Michael Rulo, RULLO, on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rulo. What do you have for us today?
Beginning with number 17, appeal ending 003, 814, 1524 South 10th Street, Juan Carlos and Perec Torres, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Number 18, appeal ending 003, 976, 1612 Paris Street, Jaslyn Devine, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 21, appeal ending 004, 544, 622 North 35th Street, a Warlies Nunez Nubar doing business as Nunez Construction Incorporated, that's moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 23, appeal ending 004, 085, 2427 Clifford Street, Gilad Bergeron doing business as HD Builders LLC, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 25, appeal ending 005, 119, 4842 North Kamek Street, appellant Ralph Goldsboro. Excuse me. I believe that was rescheduled to September 12th. Just wanted to confirm that.
Give me 1 minute.
Okay, I can move on to another one.
Okay.
Moving to number 27, appeal ending 004, 259, 4028 Paris Street, ATG Construction LLC, moot.
Moot.
Number 28, appeal ending 004, 258, 1514 American Street, Gator Ironworks LLC, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 31, appeal ending 004, 434, 505 Cobbs Creek Parkway, Antonin Nimirov doing business as AYN HVAC Incorporated. That is moot.
Thank you.
And then I can turn it, before I turn it over to my colleagues, I can read, I do have 2 settlements to note.
Okay.
Turning to number 22, appeal ending 004-577, 2604 Island Avenue, Tedco Insulation Incorporated. I believe that this was listed in error because it was previously settled in conjunction with another appeal under HA 2023-004-540. So I believe we can just have this marked settled or listed in error.
Yeah, listed in error is more appropriate unless you had the details of the settlement. I assume that the settlement details were listed at the previous hearing.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, so we had noticed listed in error.
Turning for to number 24, appeal ending 003-993, 2234 Frankfurt Avenue, Appellant Gator Ironworks LLC. That matter was settled for a city affirm with a reduced fine of $250.
$250. Okay. So noted.
And with that, I will turn it over to my colleagues.
Okay, as we normally do, I will acknowledge individuals who use the raised hand icon, and we will start with Mr. Christopher Johnson.
Good afternoon, distinguished members of the board. There's one preliminary matter that I wanted to inquire about at the outset. It's with regard to appeal number 34, HA-2023-004137 regarding an illegal dumping incident, the appeal taken by Michael Suvignoy. I had a conversation with his attorney, Zoa Schisler, yesterday. She had contacted the board requesting that the matter be continued. The city has no objection.
Okay, I don't believe we received that request. Mr. Wade, do you recall if we received that request?
She did not, she called in, she was directed to Mr. Johnson. We got no formal email request for a continuance, but she did
Well,
speak.
yeah, I know she's not available today, but also Mr. Suvignoy is in a court-ordered inpatient rehabilitation program and is not available for the hearing. So we're asking that the matter be continued.
Okay, would you mind spelling the name of the attorney, please? Can you do
I
that?
believe it is Zoa, Z-O-A,
Uh-huh.
and the last name is Schisler, S-C-H-I-S-L-E-R.
Okay, alrighty. And this would be an appellant's request for continuance?
Correct.
Okay, so noted as continued.
Thank you.
Alrighty, Mr. John Wizarette.
Good afternoon, board members. Just one matter I'd like to call your attention to. Number 30 on the list, appeal ending 004327. The property is 3727 Wallace Street. The appellant is Vernon Lucas. The appellant's attorney reached out to the board requesting a continuance. There are 2 additional appeals filed by this appellant, I believe scheduled for September 12th. In the appellant's attorney's continuance request, he asked that all 3 be consolidated, which the city has no opposition to.
Okay, so we're noted as continued. And the name of the attorney?
Robert Vance.
Okay, thank you. All right, anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Will Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 3 matters to bring to your attention at this time. First is appeal number 2 on the list, appeal ending in 2607. Address is 1201 Frankfurt Avenue, appellant Justin Myers. This is, I believe Mr. Myers is joining the call. Or has joined the call. Yeah, I see Mr. Myers has signed on. This is the appeal of a citation issued to Mr. Myers' business at 1201 Frankfurt Avenue, or the business operating at the property he owns at 1201 Frankfurt Avenue. The bar and restaurant Johnny Brenda's, the violation is for operating a streetery without the required license. I have spoken to Mr. Myers this week a few times in anticipation of the hearing today. Mr. Myers indicated that he wished to request a continuance to retain counsel. The entity that was cited is an LLC, and he is not currently represented. Given that it's my understanding this is the first hearing and that Mr. Myers made this request known to me, I don't oppose it. However, I would, of course, put on the record that we will be ready to go at the subsequent hearing, and we would urge the board to require Mr. Myers to have counsel present at that hearing, excuse me, ready to go forward.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Myers, are you present on the call today? If you are, please make yourself known to us.
I am.
Okay, we'd like to see your face, please. You're muted at the moment.
Okay, how's that?
That's better. Is it your position that you do not currently have legal counsel?
That is correct.
Okay, so we would expect then that if this is relisted, we continue it at your request that you will have legal counsel when you return.
I will have legal counsel when I return.
Okay, thank you. And I would ask, of course, that you can reconsider your former address when you return.
Okay.
This is the
Thank you.
second listing. You want this must be tried? Is the
Oh,
second
this is
continuance.
the second listing. Yes, must be
Oh.
tried. Which means, sir, you have to have your attorney, or else we're going to dismiss it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, understood. Thank you.
All right. Alrighty. Anything else, Mr. Fernandez?
No, I
I'm
think
not sure. Someone
might
has posted images of their family.
have- not mine.
Okay. Someone is sharing a screen. Who's
I
doing that?
think it said John Aponte has shared his
got
screen.
it.
There we go.
Okay. Thank you. Alrighty. Ms. Nesich.
Okay.
Good afternoon, board members. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. You just got called on. I have two other matters, but I can.
Oh, I thought that was it. Okay, my apologies. Go ahead and finish your list.
Okay, thank you. Next up, I have case number 16 on the list, appeal ending in 0082, address 6307 Ridge Avenue, appellant Presbyterian Church of Leverington, represented by Michael Mattioni. Mr. Mattioni, I believe, is here. I've had extensive conversations with Mr. Mattioni, his client, and his client's architect this week leading up to the hearing. I'll give a very brief description of the appeal, and then we can go from there. This is a large church in, I believe, Manayunk that has been operating a school within the church. They were cited with violations, including a use registration violation, a couple of fire code violations, one of which requires the installation of a fire alarm system. Because of the new use, a new certificate of occupancy is required as well. Through my discussions with Mr. Mattioni this week and my discussions with his client and the client's architect, I'm comfortable representing to this board that the appellant here has been making diligent effort towards legalization. They've gone through, I believe, the ZBA process. They've gotten the use registration permit, and they are preparing to submit permit applications that will result in the installation of the fire alarm system and then ultimately the issuance of the certificate of occupancy. Based on my conversations with Mr. Mattioni, this is going to be a long process by necessity, not through any, delay or failing of the appellant here, but because of the legalization process itself. And so during our discussions, Mr. Mattioni indicated he wanted to ask for a continuance. I said I did not oppose it, despite the fact that this hearing has been before the board a couple of times at this point already. Mr. Mattioni, is there anything you'd want to add to that? I think I covered the basics.
I think you pretty much covered it. I do think, though, you had a reinspection and there were some matters that were now marked as complied. And in addition to that, the architect also filed answers to the request for information on the pending applications. The applications are actually pending. They're not just waiting to be filed. They are pending. So we're farther along than that. I just wanted to reiterate that.
Well, I guess I have a couple questions for you because we have it noted as a must be tried case today.
Oh,
And so the second question is that you noted that those fire alarm systems, they had to be certified. Has the fire system been certified?
my understanding is it hasn't yet been installed. It's going to be installed once the permit that is processing is issued. One of the things the permit is going to legalize is the installation of the fire alarm system. The inspector that went out this week, he told me that he is satisfied with the rate at which the property owner is attempting to address the violations. He knocked off a few of the minor fire code violations as a result of this most recent inspection. It's really just now the certification of the system that isn't yet installed and the certificate of occupancy that needs to be obtained. However, just regular, inspector practices, the longest stay of enforcement he was he agreed to is 90 days. And based on my conversation with the project architect, it's going to take more than 90 days to get this all done. And this was a potential cease operations at the time that it was first issued, which is why Mr. Mattioni wanted to ask for that continuance and why I'm not necessarily opposing it, despite the fact that this has been before the board a couple of times already.
Well, the other issue for me is the potential risk to public safety and the safety of the students if we do not have a certified fire alarm system. And so I guess I'm wondering what defense is there for the appeal? If it's just a matter of timing, is that what we're really working on here? That
Can
doesn't
I
prevent
ask you a
us.
question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Is this property being used as a facility with children in it at the present time?
Thank you, Mr. Pickens.
Mr. Mattioni, can you
Yes.
answer?
Yes. Yes, the answer is
And
yes.
it's
been used as a church for 100 years, and they have had the school in there in the past several times. It had closed down several years ago, and then there was people in the church said, there's such great demand for having the school reopen, so they reopened the school. They did get a use registration permit for it, and they have been diligently pursuing the additional fire system. They've worked with Cartman. They've had them employed by them for a long time. They have replied to requests for additional information on several occasions from L&I. They are moving as quickly as they can. And I do think it's important to note that I don't want to speak for the city, but the L&I inspector that was out there did not believe that a cease operations enforcement would be correct and proper at this time, given the status of the building and where everything is.
Well, except that you've given it to us, though. You came to us with an appeal, and we have to decide as collective board whether or not it's appropriate to continue this case multiple times. Mr. I jumped in front of you, Mr. Pincus.
I understand that, Mr. Chairman.
Wait, Mr. Pincus has a question for you. Let me
I'm not sure it's been clearly, I didn't hear a clear answer. Is there an operating, even if it's not certified, is there an operating fire alarm system in the property?
Yes, there is.
Okay. All right. I think, did anyone else, Mr. Tennant, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Mr. Mariani, you said there's an operating fire system, but it has not been certified, correct?
Correct.
How many children in the building?
I don't know. Fred Endricat from the church is also on today, and he might be able to answer the number of children that are there.
My other question is, was this a normal school that operates September through June? So were they closed for the summer?
They were closed for the summer, yes.
And so this incident or the situation has been all summer, and your plan, or you have already reopened for the school year?
Yes, because or they're about to, because that's when the school year starts. They have been diligently trying to pursue the certifications as quickly as possible. I mean, they've been going back and forth with L&I in review of the pending application. You have an operation here, which L&I again did not have. I don't want to speak for them, but I do know what they said to me, and that they do not have the level of concern where they believe that a cease operations would be proper at this time.
Can we get the number of children? And they didn't pursue another building?
Well, I don't want to start taking testimony yet. So if you can do that, consult with his the principal offline and then tell us, that would be helpful. But I guess, Mr. Fernandez, you represented that you, in fact, believe that 90 days would not be enough time. So I just don't want to be in this perpetual granting of continuances for something potentially that could be catastrophic if there were a problem. And so we don't like these cases hanging around. So that's why we're pressing so hard to have us make a decision and to move on. Plus, up or
Absolutely.
down.
I understand entirely, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, the longest stay of enforcement that the city could offer was 90 days. My understanding is that it's going to take longer than that to get the certificate of occupancy and legalize the property, because once the permits that are currently pending are issued, then the fire system has to be installed, then tested and certified, then that
Well,
document
you
provided
keep
to.
you saying that the fire system has to be installed is what I heard you say, and Mr. Mattioni is saying it's there. And by the way, the violation notice goes back to 2022. So we're now in 2024. I mean, there's children involved, and it's been over a year.
Yeah,
We're
look,
pushing the second year here.
yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Even if we have to continue it later, I'm not comfortable. I'm not going to grant a continuance based on that representation. Are you prepared to move forward, Mr. Fernandez, today?
Yes, we're prepared to
Mr.
move forward.
Manioni, are you prepared to move forward?
We will move forward if you would like us to move
Yes,
forward.
we're going to move forward with some aspect of a hearing. There's too much that we don't know, and I'm not prepared to accept the current representations as something we should base a decision on for a 2-year-old violation. So we'll call it in order and we'll have a discussion at that time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
One last matter in the initial list. Appeal number 29, appeal ending 4309. Appellant Anthony Nadar Francesco, address 2535 to 37 South 13th Street. This is another appeal of a streetery citation violation for operating a streetery without the required license. This is for the establishment South House on South 13th Street. Mr. Nadar Francesco, are you with us now?
Yeah, I'm on the call.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I see you there. There you are. This is another matter where I've been speaking with the appellant this week in preparation for a hearing today. My understanding, I was wrong earlier on the Johnny Brenda's streetery, but I believe this is the first time this matters before this board. Mr. Nadar Francesco is not represented by an attorney. And my understanding is he wishes to request a continuance today so that he can obtain representation. He also has submitted to me some documents indicating that he is in the process of attempting to legalize the streetery, with the cited entity here being the LLC that operates the restaurant, and with Mr. Nadar Francesco having made known his desire to get an attorney. I do not oppose his request for continuance. However, I would just put on the record that, I would expect that at the subsequent hearing, when this is scheduled, unless the streetery has been licensed at that time, he appear with an attorney prepared to proceed with the appeal, because the city's prepared to put the case on.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nadar Francesco, why don't you have an attorney yet? And you're muted, sir.
Yeah, because I thought I was listed just my personal name on it, so I wasn't aware that the LLC was on, but I will definitely get an attorney for the next one.
Did you read the notice that you received?
I did. I believe that my name was on it as well.
And it didn't note the LLC at all?
I think it noted both, but I was under the impression
Okay.
it noted me. So that's my misunderstanding. But like I said, I will get a lawyer for the next hearing. If
Okay,
the
please,
application has been approved by
please
then.
yes, sir. Please be prepared for the next hearing. Thank you.
Sure, we'll do.
All right.
That concludes my matters. If I may be put in a breakout room with Mr. Mattioni, I'd like to see if we can work out an agreement on the church appeal, given that it's going to be heard today.
Thank you.
Just the two of you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Just the two of you, or?
Do you need your inspector?
Yeah,
Anyone else?
Go ahead, Mr.
I was
Mattioni.
gonna say, can we have Fred Endricat in there as well?
All right. You're all set.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Who do we have? Ms. Nessich?
Thank you. Good afternoon again, board. I have a few preliminary matters to read into the record. Starting with numbers 5 and 6, 2501 Margaret Street, Advanced 6 Resins and Chemicals. 2 hearing appeal numbers ending in 1286 and 1289. These matters were continued by, the continuance was granted by the board for an email of August 20th. Turning to number 8, 33.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand what you just said.
Oh, this one, I do believe the board agreed to a continuance of this matter.
Okay. All right. So both
just wanted
matters
to-
had previously been continued. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you. So noted
Uh,
for the record.
Thank you, sir. Number 8 is 3339 Tulip Street, appeal ending in 1419. This matter is moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 9, 5020, that's 5020 Thompson Street. Appellant's name Darlene McBride, number ending in 1421. Here, the city would request a continuance for witness unavailability and an ongoing investigation of the matter.
Okay. Is Darlene McBride present?
Yes, I am present.
Okay. Ms. McBride, did you just heard the city's request for a continuance? Any response to that request?
Yes, sir. I need to clarify what the matter is for. Is this for a commercial trash pickup?
No, ma'am, this is a water department matter. You received an NOD for a defective lateral, I believe.
Okay, okay. And what is the continuance for? Why are we doing a continuance?
We are still investigating the matter, and today the witness that I would have had join us is unavailable. He's in the field. If you'd like,
Okay.
we can be put into a breakout room after I finish my preliminary matters, if that's
Yes,
amenable to
please.
you.
Oh, I
Yes,
do have
please.
one question before Ms. McBride leaves. Is this a residential property or commercial mixed use?
Yes, sir. It's a residential property.
Okay, and it's owned by you as an individual?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Anything else, Ms. Nessich?
No, sir, unless you need more context to make a decision.
No, that's fine. We will note that matter as continued.
Thank you. Turning
Okay.
to
Mr.
number
Leonard Router?
10.
No, Ms.
Oh, I
Nessich
have
is
just
not
a few
done.
more, if that's all right.
Oh, I thought you were done. That's why I asked if you had any.
Now I got a couple more.
Okay,
Number 10 is 5616 Walton Ave, appeal ending in 1473. This can be marked moot complied.
thank you.
Number 11, 220507 North Front Street, AB Bricks LLC, 1530, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 12, 2436 South Juniper Street, appellant's name Donald Sabatini, appeal ending in 1626. This is moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 13, 1046 Granite Street, appellant's name is Matthew Kibbert, appeal ending in 1627. The notice has been rescinded for this matter.
So this is a moot matter now.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
And finally, turning to number 15, 6429 Vine Street, appealing and ending in 2163. This is also moot complied.
Moot complied. Okay.
The other two matters, the city water department is ready to move forward with.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Alrighty. All right, Mr. Router.
Thank you. May it please the board. Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia. Regarding number 1, 4241 Main Street, the attorney representing the appellant, Lee Shlomowitz, submitted a request for continuance based upon him having conflicts with other court matters. The city has no opposition to that request.
Okay, this is the second listing today, I believe, Mr. Router, right?
That's correct. It's an appeal from a historical commission decision on a permit application, I believe. So,
Okay. Do we need to add any caveats regarding future hearings that must be tried, et cetera? Or are you comfortable that it's going to move forward?
I'm comfortable it will move forward. I have no opposition if the board wants to mark it must be tried. That would probably be helpful to make sure. There was I think some dispute about whether a notice was provided to Mr. Schlomowitz. He claimed he didn't get notice. I believe the board administration said that they did send it to the attorney's address. So I think a must be tried would be helpful.
Okay. So we'll note the record that this is continued with the must be tried requirement for 4241 Main Street.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Begelman.
Yes, good afternoon, members of the board. I have two agreements to read into the record concerning cases 19 and 20.
19 and 20, okay.
Appeal number ending in 004012. The address 1510 South Lambert Street, appellant Ben Grobman. That one is an agreement for a city affirm with a reduced fine of $1,750.
Okay, thank you.
The second is case 20, appeal number ending 004013, also concerning 1510 South Lambert Street, appellant Ben Grobman. That is an agreement for a city affirm with a reduced fine of $150.
150? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Begelman, can you repeat the first agreement amount?
Yes, it's a city affirm with a reduced fine of $1,750.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Michelle Reinhardt.
Good afternoon, board. I just have one case to clarify on the record. It was previously read that our understanding is that number 25 on the list was rescheduled to September 12th, 2024. I just wanted to confirm.
Mr. Wade was looking into that. He hasn't yet to respond to that.
I'm sorry, what matter?
That's number 124842 North Camac Street. No, I'm sorry, number 25.
Number 25 was never continued. Number 25 should be listed in error.
Okay.
It was pulled when today's schedule was created, it was pulled off the schedule to be consolidated with other matters on 9/12.
Okay, so this is HA 2023-005119 4842 North Camac Street. Ralph Goldsboro is listed in error?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I don't see any other hands. Let me check to see if there may be a few matters that the board itself would like some clarification. Number 4. That's 4526 900 West Ontario Street. Kevin Perry, who's representing the city.
Hi, this is Christopher Johnson for the city of Philadelphia.
Is Mr. Kevin Perry present? Kevin Perry. Mr. Johnson, the matter, we believe based on our records that this is an LLC requiring counsel.
This was a case where both the LLC that Mr. Perry owns and Mr. Perry himself were both cited for violations. So I believe that this is just for himself.
Okay.
I understand, like, if the LLC were appealing, then the board would require counsel, but as no one appeared here on this today, I would be asking for a city affirm failure to appear.
Okay. Mr. Wade, would you confirm service, please?
All right, at this time, I have no unidentified numbers for Kevin, no unidentified numbers or devices. Mr. Perry listed 2426 West York as his mailing address. Notice of this hearing was sent to 2426 West York on July 18th, 2024.
Okay, Kevin Perry, no one has responded. What time do you have, Mr. Pincus?
1:27 p.m.
1:27 p.m. We will poll the board on HA 2023-004526 900 West Ontario Street. Kevin Perry, city affirm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirm for non-appearance.
Okay, thank you very much. That matter is disposed of. Mr. Fernandez, you back for another bite of the apple.
Back one more time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
I just concluded a discussion with Mr. Mattioni and with his client in the breakout room, and we have an agreement on appeal number 16 on the list. Appeal number ending in 0082, address 6307 Ridge Avenue, appellant Presbyterian Church of Leverington. We've agreed that that appeal can be disposed of as city affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
90-day stay, okay. And this is a settlement. Mr. Mattioni, are just on the record, sir, are you confirming that settlement?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, that matter is
Thank
so noted as a settlement, city affirmed, 90-day stay of enforcement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All righty, Mr. Wade, I believe that's takes care of our preliminary matters. Let's proceed to the list.
I have one preliminary matter.
One more? Okay.
Want to revisit case number 22. Hearing appeal ending 4577 2604 Island Avenue to
Yes.
deck installation. It was previously called as listed in error. Board's administration does not have an agreement referencing that appeal number, so I don't know if the attorney that handled the prior matter could. I think we should just hold that for a moment, and board's administration will try and recover the agreement that mentions this particular appeal number, but.
Okay. Who's representing? Let's see who's representing the city in this matter. 2604 Island Avenue. Whose case is that?
I believe the previous matter was handled by Sean Logue, but.
Okay, let's do this. Let's circle this and we'll come back to it before we close today. If Mr. Johnson, since you're still with us, would you mind asking Mr. Logue to come back?
That is, I believe that's Mike Rulo who should be handling that. I'll reach out to Mr. Rulo.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Number 22.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have that we need to hear today?
I have no requests for anything to be moved ahead, so we could start with number 3.
Number 3, okay.
Hearing appeal ending 3827 1800 West Somerset Street, Brian Bland.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, board. It's Christopher Johnson for the city of Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Mr. Brian Bland, or anyone representing Mr. Brian Bland present? Mr. Brian Bland. Okay, Mr. Wade, would you confirm service, please?
Mr. Bland listed 4508 Brookside Avenue has his mailing address. Notice of this hearing was sent to 4508 Brookside Avenue in Bristol, Pennsylvania on July 18th, 2024.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, no one has responded to our call. What is your preference?
The city would ask respectfully that the matter be marked as city affirmed failure to appear.
Okay, Mr. Pincus, what time do we have?
1:30 p.m.
1:30 p.m. Alrighty. We will poll the board on HA 2023-003827, 1800 West Somerset Street, Brian Bland, city affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Thank you very much. Alrighty, what's next?
Case number 7, hearing appeal ending 1317 3412 Tyson Avenue, Jeanette Castrilli.
Okay, who's representing the city?
I believe that's Miss Nessich, who's in a breakout room.
Oh, okay, well, let's move on to the next
We'll
matter.
skip both water department matters.
Yes.
We can go to case number 26.
Okay.
Hearing appeal ending 4272 1507 Dickinson Street, Michael Trio.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, members of the board. This is Tom Liuzza for the city.
Afternoon, Mr. Galuzza. Already, anyone present representing 1507 Dickinson Street, Michael Trio. Michael Trio. Okay, no one is responding. Mr. Wade, would you check for service, please?
Mr. Trio listed 1507 Dickinson Street as his mailing address. Notice of this hearing was sent to 1507 Dickinson Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on July 23rd, 2024.
Okay. Well, no one's responding. Mr. Galitzo, what is your preference?
We would request a city affirm for failure to appear.
Okay. What time do you have, Mr. Pincus?
1:32 p.m.
1:32 p.m. Alrighty. We will now poll the board on HA-2023-004272, 1507 Dickinson Street. Michael Trio, city affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Wade.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Chairman, may my witness, Supervisor Flanagan, be excused?
Oh, yes. Yeah, your witness may be excused.
Thank
as
you.
well as yourself. Okay, thank you.
Case number 32. Hearing appeal ending 4237, 2000 block of East Armont Street, Julian Smith.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Hi, this is Christopher Johnson for the city of Philadelphia.
Okay. Alrighty. Is anyone present representing Julian Smith?
I'm present.
And your name, sir?
Julian Smith.
Okay, there's a different name.
Oh yeah,
on the
forgive me.
screen.
That's my nickname, artist name.
So if you would mind change that, please, so that we don't get you confused with anyone else.
I'm not sure how to.
We'll do that for you.
Okay.
Ms. Wade, if you could take care of that. Alrighty. Mr. Johnson, do you have a witness that should be sworn?
Yes, I do. It is Detective Maureen Berner for the Philadelphia Police Department.
Okay, just one moment, please. All right. And Detective Bronner, if you would raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. For some reason, I don't see her anymore. Did we lose her?
No, Detective Berner and Detective Vanis are still on the call.
They may need to announce themselves so that
Detective Berner? Hold on, let me email her. Oh, wait, she's calling me. Hold on a second.
Okay.
You may be having a technical problem.
Mr. Chair, if you want to put this on hold, we can ask Mr. Rulo to clarify number 22.
Okay, just 1 minute.
And just an update, I just talked to Detective Berner. She was having technical difficulties with the audio, and she's going to log out and then log right back in.
Okay, so let's do this then. And in order to clear up that technical difficulty, Mr. Smith, we're just going to put you on hold for a moment so we can take care of another preliminary matter. We'll come back to you. Okay? All right. So, Mr. Wade, which case is this that we need to revisit?
We got to revisit case number 22, hearing appeal ending 4577, 2604 Island Avenue.
Mr. Rulo?
Tedco Insulation Inc.
Okay, is that Mr. Rulo?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Rulo. So what is this, how should we note this matter?
I think that's up to the board, but like as I explained earlier, there was a prior hearing on a separate appeal, and that was HA 2023-004-540. At the time, we determined that there was a second appeal, which is the one that's before the board right now. And on February, my notes reflect on February 20th, on or about then of this year, a combined settlement was entered for both cases.
Okay. And Mr. Wade, your notes don't reflect that, I guess.
I don't believe that this hearing appeal is mentioned in that settlement agreement.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's continue this matter for today. And it would be appropriate, I think, for board's administration to speak with Mr. Rulo offline so that we can make sure the records are accurate.
Board members I think that we can, to the extent that there's a question on that, the city's comfortable just having the board mark this as settled with the reduced fine of $300 because our system reflects that that's already been paid and the cases from our end, it looks like it is over.
Okay, so let me do this then. I'll put this on the record. HA-2023-004577-2604 Island Avenue, Tetco Insulation. We will note as a settlement between the parties, city affirm with a $300 fine. Does that satisfy the record?
Yes.
Mr. Wade, Mr. Rulo?
That's fine with the city. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, that
Yes,
was
sir.
mentioned. That was mentioned earlier, and I would have recused myself from any.
Yes, I recall. Yes.
Yes.
So note for the record that Mr. Pettit did not participate in today's discussion or deliberations.
No, it's for Tetco Insulation.
Yes, that's what I'm referencing. Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And Chairman, I believe that completes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a good afternoon. Okay, let's go back then to, I believe we were number 32, Mr. Wade.
Recalling case 32, hearing appeal ending 4237, Julian Smith.
Yes, and the city has a witness that it was going to call as Detective Maureen Burner.
Okay, Detective Burner, are you present? Please make yourself known. So, oh, there you are. Please raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to help you God?
I swear.
All right, thank you. Detective, would you mind adjusting your screen a bit? So at the moment it's cutting off your head. We can only see your eyes.
I'm trying to move. I don't want to move it because it went out before. Give me a second.
Okay. That's perfect. Okay. All righty. So Mr. Smith, as you would unmute yourself and raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any witnesses that you want to call today, sir?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Now, you may need to get a little closer because we're having difficulty hearing you. So you may need to have your microphone closer to your face. All right, thank you. Mr. Johnson, please proceed.
Yes, this is relating to the appeal for Mr. Smith of it's an illegal dumping violation from an incident that occurred back on August 28th, 2023 at approximately 4:49 p.m. Mr. Smith was cited for dumping some furniture on the side of the road underneath under a highway overpass. And to that end, I'm going to introduce documents that are marked as City Exhibit C1, and I have a portion of video that is marked as City Exhibit C2 that I'm going to show. First of all, the city is going to call Detective Burner, and I believe the witness has been sworn.
Yes.
Okay, Detective Burner, can you tell the tribunal where you're employed?
I'm currently employed with the city, the nuisance abatement unit under major crimes, but previously I was part of the environmental crime unit that handled short dumping.
And how long have you been a detective for the city of Philadelphia?
Approximately 7 years.
And how long have you been a police officer?
Over 11.
Are you familiar with incident that was notice number 23-14-048966?
Yes.
Tell us how you became aware of the situation.
We were able to review a city camera, and we located a U-Haul, I believe it was dumping, looks like 2 couches on the 200 block of East Armshatch Street, which is known for short dumping in the city limits of Philadelphia.
And can you tell us, is the footage that you reviewed, was that given, was that the footage that was from one of the PPD cameras or from a streets department camera?
Yes, they're in conjunction. It's streets and Philadelphia Police Department. It's 14-083, 14th District camera at the Armitage Underpass right there, 200 block of Armitage Street.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask if I can share my screen to review the video.
Yes, please.
Okay. Share my screen. Okay. Can you see the image on the screen, the video?
Yes.
Yes.
And Detective Bernard, for the record, can you tell us what date this video is from?
8/28/2023, so approximately 1 year.
Okay. And do you know approximately what time of day the footage is from?
It looks like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I believe. Give me 1 second. 4:49 p.m. exactly.
Okay. And can you tell us what the video shows?
There's a U-Haul coming down block adjacent to the underpass.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, was that shown? I'm pausing the video at this is the 38-second mark. Is that the U-Haul in question?
Yes.
And there's a few other U-Haul videos, U-Haul vehicles in the video. Is that right?
Yes, there's a U-Haul station right there. They actually like rent U-Hauls from right in that area. There's one right around the corner.
If it please the board, the video is 20 minutes long, but only certain portions are relevant.
Okay.
May I fast forward?
Yes, please.
Okay. And is that the same vehicle? I stopped the video at about 1 minute and 50-second mark. Is that the same U-Haul that was visible
Previously
before?
coming down the street, yes.
Okay, wait. Before you prove which video, there are 3 different U-Hauls. So
The box truck one, not the vans. This is from a box truck.
okay.
So the box truck, you can tell the difference. It's got like the big square. The other ones in the video are vans.
Okay.
And is there a marking on the truck that you noticed? What was the marking on the truck?
Tom Mary 1824 Louis. And the TM actually stands for the make and model. That's the type of truck that it is. U-Haul numbers them with the letters is the size of the truck, and that is one of the box trucks.
Okay. Now I'm fast forwarding once again, and around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. What does the video show?
The U-Haul right now is just sitting there.
Yep. Is it just
People outside of it? You can see. Yeah, you can see two individuals get out of it. It's a female and a male.
Is the individual with the backpack, was that with the driver of the U-Haul?
Yes.
I'm going to fast forward again. And again, I've stopped at about 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Are they still parked in the same location?
Yes.
And I'm going to fast forward it one more time. At 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Are they still parked in the same location?
Yes.
Would you zoom out just a bit, Mr. Johnson, when you get to the truck?
Zoom out?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I can do that through the app.
Okay.
But all right, and around 8 minutes and 37 seconds, can you tell us what's happening on the video?
They're still sitting there. She's standing at the passenger side.
Except we don't see that. Do we see that image? Yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can see them.
Yeah. I see it. Okay.
she's moving towards the back. They're moving around.
Okay. And now when I stop the video again, what happened to the truck?
It's no longer where it was parked on the side, but I believe it's moved up at this point.
So as the camera pans around, I've stopped it at 10:26. Where is the truck now?
It's now moved up underneath the overpass.
Okay. And can you describe what people are doing in the video?
The two individuals are exiting the vehicle. She's coming out of the passenger side. He will exit the driver's side in a minute.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward to the marker 11:46 of the video. And can you tell us, Detective Berner, what happens in the course of this next section?
The individuals will raise the back of the truck, and the male proceeds to pull two large couches from the rear of it, leaving it on the side of the road. You can see the one already tossed to the side. He's now placing the second one also on the side on the cement walkway, and they will close the truck and they will leave the area.
All right, and now I'm going to fast forward it one more time to 13:25. What happens at this point in the video?
They pull away from it, and you can, we were able to zoom in with our own camera, and we can see that it's the same TM 1824L truck as the previous one that was sitting up the block at that point as well.
Okay.
It's on the back of the vehicle, front of the vehicle, side of the vehicle.
Okay. At this point in time, I'd like to share what's marked as Exhibit C1.
Okay.
So first, after you viewed the video, Detective Berner, what did you do?
From that point, we go to contacts at U-Haul, give them the number and the date and time of occurrence, and attempt to pull the contract from who was the renter at the time of the short dumping incident.
And who was the renter?
The renter was a Chanel John, which is a female, but they rented it from a Newark, Delaware U-Haul, used it in Philadelphia, but along with her, we also were given a copy of a driver's license of a Julian J.W. Smith that was also there with her and provided his driver's license when they rented the U-Haul.
So he was listed as the driver on the rental?
He was one of the drivers, yes.
Okay. I'm showing you a packet of documents that's marked as City Exhibit C1. Are you familiar with the document at page 1?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that is?
That's a notice of violation to Mr. Julian J.W. Smith for short dumping of 2 red couches.
And did you prepare this notice?
I did.
And what was the date that it was sent out?
It was mailed on September 20th, 2023.
And that was sent by certified mail, is that correct?
Regular and certified mail, yes.
Thank you. I'm going to ask, are you familiar with the document at page 3?
Yes.
What is that document?
That's an invoice from the Streets Department that was sent to us by our contacts at Streets Department, and that was added to the notice of violation and attached to the notice for the cleanup costs of the couches by the City of Philadelphia.
So this is created after the City of Philadelphia cleans up an illegal dump, is that right?
Correct.
And so this is reflecting the money that the city had paid to clean up the dump, is that right?
that reflects the money of taxpayer money that was used to clean up the 2 couches that were dumped on the street.
Okay. How about page 4? What is the document at page 4?
That's a 7548. That is our official police department record of an act of crime committed, and that was the short dumping report.
And did you prepare that report?
I did.
And that was prior to sending the notice of violation?
Yes, it documents that the incident occurred and it gives it a tracking number for the police department.
Okay. How about the exhibit at page 5?
This is the rental contract that was provided to us by U-Haul.
And who does it reflect as the owner or the renter?
The renter is Chanel John. And then if you keep going forward, there is a copy of a driver's license sitting on a keyboard that was provided to U-Haul. I apologize, I have that in my office. That's driving me crazy.
So I'm scrolling down, and there's a copy.
That's an additional driver.
Can you rotate that image, sir?
I'm rotating it.
Yeah.
Can you see?
That was not taken by our office. That's taken by U-Haul staff in Delaware. Correct. It was part of the contract. It was a picture that was attached to their contract.
And this is the license for who?
Julian J.W. Smith.
I'm going to rotate back. And what is the document at page 9?
That's his PennDOT when we pulled our own actual copy of his license, and that is his PennDOT.
Right. And what is the next page?
That is the request for the video from our city cameras. It's it just ensures that the video is retrieved and that it's retrieved by our staff and kept.
It's kept as a part of the normal business practices of the city of Philadelphia.
Correct. Yes.
The Philadelphia Police Department.
Yes.
And how about the city exhibit C1 at page 11? What is the photograph at page 11?
That, if you look to the left of the photo at the bottom, you can see
We lost Detective Burner again.
Detective Burner?
I'm here. I don't know what just happened. It just
we
cut
can hear
out.
you now.
It just the meeting just cut out. To the left of the screen at the bottom, you can see the TM 1824L, and that is a screenshot of the truck as it passed the camera, moving forward underneath the underpass.
Mr. Johnson, can you focus that in? Can you
hold on a second.
see if we can see that better?
Let me see. Does it look bigger now?
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Mary 1824L Louis.
Okay.
And was that the same vehicle that was rented by the couple who you verified with you all?
Yes.
Okay. I'm scrolling down. And was this video, did you pull this as a screenshot from the video footage?
Yes.
Okay. How about the next page? What is this photograph? This is at page.
That's another photograph of, yes, that's another photograph of the same truck and the couches being removed by the mail.
And we can see it's blown up. How many couches are visible?
2.
Okay.
There's one on the side of the road already and one in his hands.
Right. If it please the board, I'm going to go to the last photograph.
Okay.
And what is the last page, page 13? What is this photograph?
That's another screenshot of the rear of the truck as it pulled under the overpass with the same number already referenced several times.
And just a little bit more, Detective Bernard, did you put together all of these documents as part of your routine investigation of this illegal dumping incident?
Yes.
Did you ever have a chance to contact any of the individuals involved?
I don't believe so.
Okay, because all you had was the driver record.
Right. I don't, yeah, unless we have a reason where we have a business that we can contact and maybe get them to stop doing it, give them a heads up, but I don't believe so.
Okay, I'm going to ask for admission of exhibits C1 and C2 at this time.
So admitted.
I have nothing further from the detective.
Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have any cross-examination questions for Detective Berner based on her testimony?
Well, the first thing I would like to
Mr.
clarify.
Smith, Mr.
Yes.
Smith, this is your opportunity to ask her questions based on her testimony. At a
Yeah.
later shortly, you can present your case, but in a moment, we don't. I just need to know if you have any cross-examination questions.
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Johnson, any additional witnesses?
No, sir. The city rests.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Smith, is your opportunity to present your case.
Okay. Thank you for the time. Well, my first presentation and note is the dumping of debris. From my knowledge, she labeled it as 2 large red couches. But my violation, I isolates the word debris instead of dumping of litter or any form of trash. Additionally, the fine was using a rental U-Haul to commit a crime, and it was subject to $5,000 each for the 2 large red couches, which was really one couch that had 2 parts and not 2 separate couches that could be identified as 2 separate couches. And that totaled up to $10,000 of a violation for me. And I see and I noticed that the cost of removing what was labeled here as debris instead of trash or litter or the couches was $1,700,000 worth amount. That's amount that I'm also a taxpayer, have seemed to put my money towards.
You said 1,700, correct? I just want to make sure you
Well,
didn't.
$1,737.33.
Okay, all right.
The cost that's what it cost them to remove the same amount of couches that it took for me to put there, which didn't cost me anything to just put them there. So the cost of that just seems a little bit high. That's where our taxpayers' dollars are going. I would love to talk with people about that. And then also for my research, the fee for the crime or the fee for the dumping of the trash for the city, especially for a first offense, is roughly a couple $100. And for it to be labeled as debris.
I mean, I'm going to object. He's making a legal conclusion about what the fine should be.
Forgive me if I'm correct.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, we really, and maybe there's a better, more direct way to do this, because you've appealed this violation notice, and we get to decide based on your testimony and what the city presents, is did the city serve to do this correctly? Was the violation committed, and if the correct person is being fined? So what do you have to offer, since this is your appeal? What is your offer of proof that it wasn't you, or that you didn't do it?
Well, to that answer, I just believe that a person should not be thought of as a bad person for what they've done on file. You can see that I was involved in that, but the U-Haul did not also belong to me. So to say that I done this on a commercial property, that's really all I have to say. I don't really have too much of defense. You have the video to see I was involved in it, but in terms of the part that I played, in terms of it being my couches, in terms of me using a commercial vehicle for a crime, all that is just a bit and just extra in my opinion. I've written in my appeal, and that's all I can say. I don't want to say anything else there.
Mr. Johnson, do you have any cross-examination?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith, I'm just curious. You've admitted that you, in fact, did dump the two sofas or one sofa with two parts, and in fact use a U-Haul, which is in fact a commercial vehicle. It's not your personal vehicle; it's a commercial vehicle, and so that's the elements of the violation. Okay. Anything else before we render a decision in this matter?
Just a brief argument.
Yes, please.
So I understand that Mr. Smith is not an attorney, but the Philadelphia City Council has acted to make each item dumped, just as in this situation. So the fact whether it's one couch or parts of two couches, it's any discrete large item can be counted as a separate offense pursuant to section 10.710, or it's chapters 10.700 and 10.710 of the Philadelphia Code. So I appreciate the smaller fines that may be there under state law, but the General Assembly authorized City Council to enact stiffer penalties up to $5,000 per incident. And we've defined it as $5,000 per large item, which it clearly shows that there's two large items. The fact that it says debris is not relevant on the notice. It's the items are correctly identified as two large couches, and that's what we viewed on the video. I'm going to ask for a city affirm.
Thank you. Okay, we will now poll the board on HA-2023-004237, 200 block of East Armat Street, Julian Smith. City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Pettit had to step away. So we have a panel, three-person panel voting on this matter, and it's unanimous to affirm. Mr. Smith, you lost your appeal. However, you may appeal our decision. You have a right to do that. If you need information as to how you should do that, you should call the board administrator's office. That number will be on the written decision that you receive in the mail. Thank you very much. Everybody have a good afternoon. Your witness is excused from this matter unless you have another case.
Excuse me, Chair, this is the court reporter. I apologize for the interruption. I don't believe I got the detective's first name.
Oh, Detective Berner, what is your first name?
Maureen, Maureen, Berner.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on to the next matter.
I don't think that there's any witness time constraint for the remaining two water department cases. We can call Detective Berner's final case.
Okay, let's do that.
Mr. Chair, was
Mr.
case
Chairman.
number 33
Wait.
dealt with?
Pardon me?
Mr. Chair, was case listed number
Was definitely
33?
involved in the last case, and I did vote city affirmed. For some reason, I was muted.
Oh, okay. So let's just for the record, in terms of the vote for HA 2023-004237, 200 East block of East Armont, please note that board member Steve Pettit did render a vote of city affirm. So that's a board unanimous vote of city affirm. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Pettit, you had Mr. Pincus.
I don't have a notice of the disposition of case 33.
Oh, we have,
Case 33 is getting called now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's call that one.
Case number 33, hearing appeal ending 4125, Ishmael Denarte.
This is Christopher Johnson for the city of Philadelphia. This is an appeal related to another short dumping incident that occurred back on September 11th, 2023 at approximately 9:30 p.m. The city has one witness in the matter. It is Detective Maureen Berner.
Okay. Detective Berner, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give be the truth to help you God?
I swear.
Thank you. And also, Mr. Ishmael Denarte, if you're present, I believe I see your image. Please unmute yourself, sir, and raise your right hand to be sworn. You're muted. You're still muted. Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today for this matter will be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, Mr. Johnson?
Yes. Detective Berner, could you please state for the record where you're employed?
I am currently employed in the nuisance business abatement unit under major crimes, but was previously employed under the environmental crime unit that investigated short dumping.
And how long have you been a detective for the city of Philadelphia?
Approximately 7 years,
And how long have you been a police officer?
over 11 years.
Okay. Are you familiar with an incident related to short dumping matter where Ismail Dinarte was cited?
Yes.
And can you tell us what happened? How did you become aware of that incident?
A vehicle was observed on city camera 24022, which is in 24th District, City of Philadelphia, 2000 Valletta Street, disposing of various furniture on that block, which is also known, it's a known area for short dumping in the city.
So I have two exhibits. Once again, Exhibit C1 is a packet of documents related to the matter kept as official records of the city of Philadelphia. And I'd also ask to view what's marked as Exhibit C2 at this time, which is a video described by Detective Berner. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Can you see the image on the screen?
Well, yes, I believe you can.
It's it's very dark because it's at night.
Okay, yes.
So can you tell us? I didn't
Mr.
let it
Chairman, I
play
can't
yet.
see the screen.
Yeah, I think that's what we have is a, there we go. That's much better. Thank you.
I'm now playing
Okay.
video.
Yep.
I see it now.
Yep.
When it zooms in, it'll get blurry, but it'll clear itself. You'll see it a couple times. It does that.
Okay.
Okay, so this video is much shorter. There's only about 3 minutes and 40 seconds of video.
Okay.
Can you tell us again what location the video is from, Detective?
This is 2000 Valletta Street, Valletta and Coral.
Would you spell
24th
that
District.
name? Would you spell that name,
Valletta,
please?
or Victor, Andy, Louis, Eddie, Tom, Andy.
Okay, one more time. VIL.
VALETTA Street.
Perfect.
Valletta.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very well-known spot for short dumping, although we've made strides. As you can see at this moment, it's pretty clean.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit.
And this is a camera that pans the area. This is the truck in question pulling onto the block.
So this is about a minute and 20 seconds into the video. Is that the truck in question?
Yes.
Okay. So the camera watches it drive by. Then what happens?
It'll pan to the truck, will stop, an occupant will get out and begin throwing debris out of the vehicle.
Okay. Now I paused the video 1 minute and 40 seconds on the counter. Can you describe what's happening?
The truck stopped, a male exited, went to the rear of the vehicle, opened the back, and begins throwing what looks like couches and other various furniture onto the street. At that point right there, if you stop it,
Okay,
I was able to get a screenshot. Which show that, yeah,
like right here?
You can make out, if you go back 10 seconds, right there, if you look closely, you can see the tag.
Okay, I'll go back
ZVB
to
1399.
Can we see that on the screen? I can see it. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
can see it. Okay.
There you go.
Camera panned around. I'm gonna fast forward one more time. And I'm pausing the video right here at it's 3 minutes on the counter. And what do we see?
The truck is gone, but the debris is left to the side of the road.
Okay. And what did you do after you viewed the video?
So from there, we took the Pennsylvania license plate. We ran it through a couple systems just to confirm that we're looking at the correct truck and the correct owner. The owner came back to Ishmael Dinarte. When we went into the PennDOT system, there were two. I believe it's a father and a son. They had the same address. I ran that name and the tag through then it's called a 7548A. It's our car stop and pet stop system. I was able to locate a pet stop, or I'm sorry, I apologize, a car stop in the name of Ishmael Dinarte with that vehicle. And it was I believe it would be the son, was the driver and owner. On that day, he was stopped by Philadelphia police. He was 37. So that would be I believe the male that's on the screen as of right now. We also ran it through another system called LSAG, which brings any police cameras taking pictures of the vehicle tag, so we could see what the car looked like at different times, and that led us to the same truck. Some of the pictures actually had it filled with other debris and other trash at different times, but we were able to just confirm that the truck was the same and the owner was the same. And then we issued the notice of violation.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to take a look at the documents that are marked as City Exhibit C1 at this time. I'm sharing my screen. Do you recognize what the document is at page 1?
Yes, that is the notice of violation that was issued by our office to Ishmael Dinarte.
And that was for the incident that occurred on what date again?
It was September 11, 2023 at 9:30 p.m. on the 2000 block of Valletta.
And was this mailed to Mr. Dinarte?
Yes, it's regular and certified mail.
And what's the document on page 3?
That is the City of Philadelphia Streets Department invoice for the cleanup costs of the dump. That was also added to the notice of violation.
And the city ended up cleaning up that location after that dump?
Yes.
How about page 4? What's the document at page 4?
That is the 7548, which is the Philadelphia Police Department's record of the incident and the crime that was committed of short dumping.
And you prepared this report?
Yes.
How about at page 5? Again, I'm going to rotate you.
That's going to be a screenshot from the video. As I said, when you stop the video, that is a screenshot of the license plate ZVB 1399 that we double checked throughout different systems to make sure we had the right truck.
And how about the document at page 6? What is this document?
This is the PennDOT record coming back to Ishmael Dinarte that matches the person who was stopped in the vehicle and stated he was the owner of the vehicle to police.
And there's another record here at page 8. What is this?
This is an additional Ishmael Dinarte, which we believe would be his father. And if you compare the two, they live in the same property. They both live at 163 Simpson Road in Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
Okay. And how about the documents at page 10 and thereafter?
This is a 7548A from November 11th of 2022, where Ishmael Dinarte was stopped in that vehicle bearing the same Pennsylvania license plate. He turned at Orleans and Kensington, which is in the area of the short dumping incident. And he is listed as not only the driver, but the owner of the vehicle. And that is 37-year-old. That's the the original, the first Ishmael Donarte, his son.
So that's another stop where he was caught driving the vehicle. So you can conclude he was the owner of the vehicle and the driver at the time of the dumping incident.
He was the driver, and the officers also listed him as the owner. So I would assume that he told them, or they just, but he was, yes, he was driving the vehicle. He was the one stopped in the vehicle.
Okay.
And he was in the area of the shooting.
Okay. How about the documents at page 13?
So this is our ESAG system. This is the police department. When we run tags, our police vehicles have cameras. They look for stolen cars. They also just run tags constantly as they're driving down the street. This is not ours, but this would be Lower Merion's, because that looks like this one. That's where that was read. We're connected across the country. Philadelphia has it. This is just a picture of the truck. That tag was on the truck on that date, 9/6/2023. You'd see it's Lower Merion. And as you can see in the back of the truck, there is a bunch of debris in the back, but that truck with that tag was ran by a police vehicle at that
So
date
that
and time.
just shows that it was read by the system on this date and time, September 6th, 2023.
Correct.
Okay. And are there a number of these in this packet?
Yeah.
And these are all just showing the vehicle at different locations?
With the tag on it, correct.
Okay.
It's just a way for us to confirm that we are issuing the NOV to the correct individual and owner of the vehicle.
Okay. I am going to stop showing the record at this time and ask for admission of exhibits C1 and C2.
Admit it.
I'm just going to show you one more document, Detective Berner. And for the record, I'm showing Detective Berner a copy of the appeal petition that Mr. Donarte filed that is already a matter of record in this case. Just briefly, I want Detective Berner, just for the record, can you read the appeal petition, just what it says in his handwriting here?
I don't have the money to pay $25,000. This was a big mistake. I need help, please. I will pay for the city work, 1737.33.
Okay, and I have no more questions at this time.
Okay. Mr. Donarte, do you have any questions for the detective based on her testimony?
No.
Okay, thank you. Any additional witnesses, Mr. Johnson?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Donarte, do you want to tell us your understanding of what happened?
Well, I guess my understanding here is that this was a dumping incident that happened.
No, Mr. Johnson. No, I was asking Mr.
Okay.
Donarte.
Okay.
Mr. Donarte, please, do you have a case to present for your appeal?
Yes, it was a big mistake on my part. I know what I did was not right. Like I say, I'm willing to pay for the city, but I really need help because 25,000 I don't have. This is like, it's bad for me because I have a kid, and I don't have the money. I don't even know what to do.
Okay, let me ask you this, Mr. Donarte. How much does it cost for you as a company to legally dump your trash?
To tell you the truth, it's not about that. What I did, it was because I was really mad and upset because that trash got into my truck. It was not even mine.
But you didn't answer my question.
No, I know.
Please answer my question.
I understand. It's only a couple hundred.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's what I wanted to understand. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, do you have any final argument?
No, just that, I think the issue before the board here is whether the incident in fact happened. And I believe that the city's met its burden in showing that this illegal dumping violation did occur. I understand that he feels it was a mistake. He's admitted it and feels like it's a high fine, which it is, I would suggest that if, and I'll say this for the record, the city would be filing it in order to collect the fine with the court in order to do that. So any discussions about the amount of the fine would be relevant to that proceeding, but the jurisdiction here of the board is simply, did the event occur or not? And with that, I would say we met our burden. It should be a city affirm.
All right, thank you. We'll poll the board on HA-2023-004125, 2000 block of Valletta Street, Ishmael Dinarte, city affirm.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dinarte, you lost your appeal. You may appeal our decision if you choose to. If you need information, please check with the administrator's office and they will help you, will provide information if you need it to file your appeal. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Your witnesses are excused, Mr. Johnson. Okay.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wade, do we have any additional matters?
We have two more water department matters. I believe Miss Nessich is back in the room.
Okay, I do need to take a short break. So it's 2:25. Okay, let's go back on the record, Mr. Wade. Let's see here. Just for one moment, I'll make sure all the we have the full house here.
I'm back.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pincus is the only person we're waiting for. We do have a panel, so what we can, there is.
Oops, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wade, want to call the next matter?
We have two remaining matters, both water department. The first matter is, we'll recall case number 7, hearing appeal ending 1317, 3412 Tyson Avenue, Jeanette Castrilli.
Okay, who's representing the city in this matter?
That would be me, Chairman Melanie Nezich, Knezich, for the City of Philadelphia Water Department.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ms. Nezich.
Good afternoon again.
Jeanette Castrilli. Jeanette Castrilli. Anyone representing the interests of 3412 Tyson Avenue? Jeanette Castrilli. No one's responding. Mr. Wade, would you confirm service, please?
Ms. Castrilli listed 3412 Tyson Avenue as her mailing address. Notice of this hearing was sent to 3412 Tyson Avenue on July 18th, 2024.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nezich, no one has responded. What is your preference?
The city would request that the board affirms for failure to appear.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:37 p.m.
2:37 p.m. Thank you. We will now poll the board regarding HA-2024-001317, 3412 Tyson Avenue. Jeanette Castrilli, city affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That disposes of that matter. What's the next one, Mr. Wade?
Final matter, case number 14, hearing appeal ending 2105, 1265 South Dover Street, Max Long.
Good afternoon. Ms. Nezich, I assume that you're handling this matter?
Yes, sir. And before we begin this one, may my witness from the previous matter, Mr. Jason Locke, be excused?
Yes, your witness may be excused.
Thank you. Yes, and I am handling this matter.
Okay, you have a witness for this matter.
Yes, sir. The city would call, he's mislabeled here as his supervisor's name, John Aponte, but it will be Mr. Antoine Ellis.
Antoine Ellis. Mr. Ellis, would you raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wade, would you mind changing the label on his screen, please?
And it was Antoine Ellis?
Yes.
Alrighty. Mr. Max Long, would you mind raising your right hand so that you may be sworn?
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon. I need you to raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. You can place your hand down. Ms. Nezich, please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon again, members of the board. The petitioner is the owner of a property at 1265 South Dover Street. He's appealing the issuance of a notice of defect for a defective vent pipe issued by the Philadelphia Water Department. On May 2nd of this year, PWD's sewer maintenance unit responded to the site of a cave-in in the right-of-way in front of a neighboring property. Multiple tests were performed at the property in question, as well as neighboring properties. A dye test was performed at 1265, and a member of the crew entered the manhole and visually confirmed the defective vent pipe, which would be in violation of City Code 135022, as the city code places the burden of maintenance on the homeowner for this particular piece of equipment. As of the latest reinspection of the property at 1265 Dover, performed this past Tuesday, the vent pipe is still defective and no repairs have been made. The city would like to call Inspector Antoine Ellis to testify to this.
All right, please proceed.
Mr. Ellis, good afternoon.
Mr. Ellis, you'll need to get closer to the microphone so we can hear you. Okay,
Thank you.
and speak up. Thank you.
Mr. Ellis, by whom are you employed?
Philadelphia Water Department Sewer Maintenance Unit.
And what's your title at the sewer maintenance unit?
I'm a crew chief of the examination crew, basically. Yeah.
Okay. If I may, board, I'd like to share my screen.
Yes.
Just a moment. Is it visible to you all?
Yes.
Okay. Here, this is already on record, the appeal from the petitioner. I'm going to scroll down past the NOD, which is also on file, and we'll begin here. Mr. Ellis, are you familiar with this type of report?
Somewhat, yes.
Yeah. Is this a City Works report?
Yes, it's a city's work. Mine is more of a handwritten ticket, but it says the same things.
Right. And this one, have you had a chance to review this report and the reports associated with the property in question?
Yes.
Is this a document that's normally prepared and kept in the course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department's
Yes,
work?
yes, it's how they keep records of what's going on at each property.
Right. After inspections, for example?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
If we take a look here, there are some abbreviations, but if you could walk us through it, what exactly is recorded here as what happened? I can make it larger if you'd like to.
Okay.
What is the first couple of lines in this report recording?
Okay, so it's saying is we're investigating the cave-in. The IFO stands for in front of, address 1263 South Dover Street. This is a 15-inch plate on top of the FAI, actually, or whatever like that. It says that we dye tested it, the cave-in front of 1263. It was positive in the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
It said an
And then
exam.
moving on, that was the neighbor, correct?
That's the neighbor's property, yes.
Right. And
So-
moving on, what does it say about 1265 right here?
Yeah, so an exam of the FAI, which is the vent pipe. I'm saying FAI, but that's the vent pipe. When you could visibly look in the vent pipe and see that is no vent pipe actually there. The space for the vent pipe is there, but there's actually no vent pipe there. You can see bricks and other debris straight down. We dye tested that. It does make it to the sewer, but there's no vent pipe present.
Right. And in this particular record of inspection, it says that a sewer inspector made entry into the manhole to visually confirm.
Yes, that's how we determine that it is still coming out of the lateral that will be connected to the vent pipe if it was one there, but he doesn't have a vent pipe, but it did still make it to the lateral once we dye tested the where the vent pipe should be at.
Right. And you can isolate whose equipment is associated with whose address by this method, correct?
Yes, that's why we sent Inspector Walker in to make sure it's coming directly from his lateral and not his neighbor's lateral.
Right. And moving on just from the matters of Tuesday, you performed a reinspection at the property this past Tuesday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you do another dye test on that day?
Yes, we did the dot test because you always want to make sure we're looking at the right one because sometimes they're not set up directly in front of a property. Sometimes they might be to the side. It might look like it's the neighbors. So you always want to go through your formalities to make sure you're not giving nobody the wrong notice. Happens every now and then, but this is one of the steps to make sure that you don't do that.
Understood. And what did you conclude from the dye test that you performed at the reinspection on Tuesday?
Well, the dot tester showed that it still was coming out of that lateral that's connected to 1265. But again, when we just opened the vent pipe, we could still see this time it was a brick actually there, where the vent pipe should be at. So I think if I'm not mistaken, my supervisor took a picture of what was actually in the vent pipe. There's no pipe, but you can see bricks and other things inside of the box.
That's right. Thank you. And in your opinion, sir, is the vent pipe still defective?
Yes, ma'am.
Was the notice issued correctly in your opinion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
He wasn't charged for the defective lateral. He was just charged for his vent pipe. Okay.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Ellis.
No problem.
Okay, is that that concludes your questioning, Mr. Ellis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Long, do you have any cross-examination questions for Inspector Ellis? My apologies, Crew Chief Ellis.
Yes. So when looking at the property, there's a utility pole directly in front of it. Are you looking in the, I guess the vent pipes on the left side of the utility pole or the vent pipes on the right side of the utility pole?
We checked all three vent pipes. We checked 1263, 65, as well as 67.
Okay, but is it looking at my property? Is it to the left of the utility pole or to the right of the utility pole? Because to the right of the utility pole, when looking at my property, that goes to my neighbor's property. If it's the two that are in the sidewalk on the left of it, then that's going to
Mr. Long, what is your neighbor's address?
1263 South Dover Street.
Okay, you should probably ask him if he inspected that vent pipe.
Yes, he stated that he inspected 1263, 1265, and 1267, and I understand that. I just want to know physically, when looking at the property of 1265, is he looking in the vent pipes that are to the left?
But if he looked at all of them, that means he looked at it.
I would like to cover my bases.
Do you have photograph? Do you have an image that you'd like to put up and to make?
Oh, can I share my screen? I don't know.
Sure, absolutely.
If I know how to do that in in Zoom.
It should be the box at the bottom, green, that says share.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Not yet.
You have to pick a screen. So screen one, desktop.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yep, except that there's another. Yeah.
There we go.
Yes, it's visible. Yep.
Okay, so this is my property, 1265. This is an older date just because in the most recent date, there's a car parked on the sidewalk here.
So what's the date of that image?
This date is 2007.
Okay.
But these vent pipes are still in the same locations.
Yeah, so to answer your question, right there where you at right now to the left of it, that would be 1265s.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. Any additional questions?
Yeah, they be offset sometimes, so I could get why you think we
Inspector.
Yep.
Let your attorney.
Oh, okay.
You direct your answers. Yeah. You want to follow the direction of your counsel. Okay. Mr. Long, any additional questions?
When looking into the vent pipe at the bottom, did you notice any other pipes or
yes, it looked like
valves?
a shut-off. Yes, it looked like a shut-off inside of your
Inspector, let your attorney speak, please.
Okay, wait a minute. Where we are now, I think Mr. Long is cross-examining the crew chief. Okay, so
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry,
Yeah, no
Chairman.
problem. Okay. Mr. Long, you've asked the crew chief Ellis, were there any other pipes in the hole, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ellis.
Yes, it looked like something that looks like a shutoff that would be in the shutoff box was in his vent pipe, but we also went to the shutoff box to make sure that that wasn't the shutoff box that we were in. And he does have a working shutoff box that was right next to it, or right in back of it. That should have been the vent pipe. Something is, shifted or something is off.
Okay.
Before you proceed, I just want to clarify that everybody's in agreement. I see two black holes on the drawing onto the left of a telephone pole, and two actually not in front of the house that's identified as 1265, but in front of the house that's 1267 and 69. We're talking about the two holes to the left of the pole that are in front of, actually, they're sort of in between 1265 and 1263. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And there's a front one closer to the curb and then another one closer to the residential property. Are we talking about one of these two or both of them?
Yes, we're talking about the one that's closer to the curb. That's the actual vent pipe. In this situation, sometimes it's reversed, but the vent pipe is the one closer to the curb in this situation.
And what about the one behind the vent pipe? Is
That's the
that also relating to 1265, or is that for the other property?
No, that's to 1265 as well. That's how his fresh water comes in and out of the house. And the piece that he just was asking me about that was in a vent pipe, it's the same type of piece, but it's in his vent pipe as well as his water box.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any additional questions, Mr. Long?
No further questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, if you would take down that image, Mr. Long. All righty. Let's see. Ms. Nessich, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, sir. The city rests with a brief indulgence for some closing remarks after the petitioner puts on his case.
Okay. Mr. Long, please share with us your understanding of the facts.
On May 2nd of 2024, I was issued a notice of defect for a sewer vent pipe related to a cave-in in front of my neighbor's property. And that's the extent of the notice from the water department. Would you like me to present my case?
Well, yes. I mean, this is
Okay.
what I asked. If you can present your case, tell us what you did or what you didn't do, any actions that you've taken.
Yes. So I have line protection for my water and sewer lines, and so I contacted my line protection, and they put me in contact with Rapid Rooter Plumbing, who came out and they opened up the water valve cover and what appears to be the sewer vent cap. And upon their inspection, they noted that the notice was issued in error due to the fact that there is no vent pipe that comes out of the sewer line that comes from my property. They opened up the interior clean out, which is in my basement, and put a camera hose through my sanitary line all the way to the main in the street. And there's no opening on the what would be the top of the pipe for a vent.
Do you have copies of that video?
I do not, but I can contact Rapid Rooter.
Well,
and
today's the day of your hearing. Today was
okay.
Do you have copies of a written report from them?
Yes, I have copies of the written report. Yes, and
can you share a screen and show that to us?
Yes, and I believe that they were included with my appeal. is another location for the rapid router assessment. So this is the rapid router assessment. If you'd like, I can read it aloud.
Yes,
It's
because
also attached to your appeal that was filed with the city. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So the work completed states the NOD, notice of defect for defective vent on sewer line. Check the sewer vent cover out front, and this is the riser for the water line. There is a curb stop in this riser. The riser marked water is also a curb stop. Camera inspected sewer from inside clean out, and there is not a curb trap or riser on the sewer line at all. NOD was issued by mistake because of the sewer cover on the water line.
Okay. Mr. Long, did they open that cap on that outside space and inspect it?
Yes.
What did they determine it was?
So one of the caps is an access for the abandoned lead pipeline.
Which one is that?
Is evidence for.
Which one is the abandoned lead pipeline?
I'm just going to interrupt really quickly and just lodge an objection here for hearsay.
Sure, what's the objection?
Just to put it on the record. That the petitioner is testifying to any sort of assessment that's not been placed on the record in evidence in writing that would be subject to a business record exemption. He's now testifying and opining to what the inspectors did, and they are not here. So just putting it on the record that I object.
Okay, so noted. Overruled. Mr. Long, I just want to hear what happened when they opened up that vent that's closest to the curb. What was determined?
When you open up this vent and look down, it does not, in fact, go to the sanitary pipe. It is actually an access for the water valve turnoff for my actual water service line that comes into the house. So the cap on top of that opening is just not labeled as a water valve.
Okay. All right. Ms. Nessage, do you have any? I apologize. Mr. Long, any additional information before we ask any more questions?
That is all of the facts to my knowledge.
Okay. Ms. Nessage, any questions?
Yeah, just a quick follow-up question, if I may. Mr. Long, am I correct in understanding that a camera was placed in through the inside of your home?
That's correct.
And the assessment from the plumbers was that you did not have a fresh air inlet or a vent pipe on your line at all?
On the sewer line, correct.
On the sewer line. Okay. That concludes my questions. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Nessage, was there testimony from your witness that, in fact, they were able to identify the water coming from a defective vent back or some defective aspect of Mr. Long's equipment through a sewer crawler who was there and saw the dye come out?
Yes, sir, I believe so. And please feel free to re-question my witness to clarify anything that is unclear for you right now.
Okay, Mr. Ellis.
Yes. So the water box that he's saying, the shutoff valve, that would be the square one. That'll be the one closer to your house. That'll be the correct water line to be in and out. The line that he's talking about, the one closest to the curb, the one that we gave you the notice for, that's supposed to be the vent pipe. Yes, I do see the shutoff is in there, but that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be a vent pipe. And
okay,
they just kind of further proved what I was saying about sending the camera from the inside and no vent pipe being there. That still will fall on the homeowner to actually have the vent, because that's a violation in itself, not having a vent pipe. So, they kind of proved what we was kind of saying.
Okay, now one other question. You indicated earlier that a sewer crawler went through and identified the dye, correct?
Yes.
And what did that dye test suggest to you?
That is coming out of the property of 1265. Like when we stick the dye into the where the vent pipe should be at, it's finding its way to the lateral somehow, some way that is connected to the city sewer. And that's where my inspector seen the dye coming from out of the lateral that would belong to 1265.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Long, did you give the plumbers a copy of the violation notice?
Yes, I did.
And how did they respond to this issue of the dye coming out?
They did not believe that it was assessed correctly. If there's a vent cap, if there's
No,
a vent.
I hear you on that. And the issue is, how do we address the matter? Either there was no dye coming out and Mr. Ellis is misspeaking or misrepresenting the facts, or dye did come out and its location, the origin of the dye is the issue.
My question is, if the vent pipe is not connected to my sanitary line currently, how would it be getting into the main sewer unless there's an issue with the main sewer that's in the street?
Well, it could be issue of the locations connected to the main sewer. So that's okay. Let's do this, Ms. Nessich. I'm wondering here if this would be there are a couple of things. As the homeowner, Mr. Long, you're responsible, and so the issue is further investigation that may be appropriate. So, is there a possibility of having that plumber meet someone from the water department at the site?
Yes, I'd be open to that.
Ms. Nessich, was that something that would work?
Generally, the procedure is that the water department will send out a representative to reinspect upon completion of corrections in order to inspect the corrections that have been done. I can check into another version of procedure, but I'm only familiar with that one.
Okay, I know that we've had a number of cases where there was a meeting at site, particularly the plumber opened things up, so the water department could go there and confirm the defect.
Okay,
Mr. Long, that may in fact be, you may need to do that because the water department has confirmed that in fact there's a defect. And so unless my colleagues would disagree with me, I would propose that we continue this matter for 30 days at least to allow you to get your plumber back to confirm. Now, Ms. Nessich, if he does that and he determines there's no defect, who pays for the plumber?
I'm not certain. This isn't. I must say this isn't a procedure.
No, not Ms. Ellis. You can't get into this one.
And also, this is not. We're not investigating or deciding.
But that's what the board is asking. That's what I'm asking you to do is to assist the homeowner in determining if he's going to get his plumber out there to do what's necessary to prove his point, and your guy's there when they do it. And if there is no problem, if they agree there was a mistake made and he has expenses for that, who takes care of that? How does he get reimbursed for that expense?
I'm certainly not
Mr. Chairman, I concur with you.
Okay, thank you.
There should be a plumber go out and assess it.
Yep.
Yes, but I disagree that the board has jurisdiction to assign fault or charges.
Oh, well, the board is not assigning fault or anything. We're suggesting to you that
or reimbursement.
Listen to me.
I'm really not sure about that.
I'm speaking. What we're saying to you, what I'm saying to you is that if the homeowner has the courtesy of the water department to agree to meet his plumber there, and in the event of an investigation that occurs and all parties agree that in fact the NOV was issued in mistake and he has already incurred expenses, he can actually, I guess, he could place a claim to request reimbursement. But I've just asked you, how is that done? I'm not suggesting that you require, that's how that would happen. He would get reimbursed potentially through a claim.
Yes.
Okay, so
Mr.
I'm suggesting that we continue this for 30 days to allow for a reinspection with both the plumber and the water department on site to determine what happened. Because the homeowner's gone the extra step, gotten the plumber out, they've done some investigation, so there's a difference of opinion.
Understood.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
may,
sir.
I believe Mr. Long also stated that the plumber came, he has the water line insurance, and so he called the insurance company and they sent this plumber out. So this may be covered by his insurance as far as any expenses he's incurred.
True,
So,
absolutely.
but the other question I have, only to clarify, and this is for Mr. Ellis. As I look at, again, the street, there's a box, there's a square cover and a round cover. One of them, as I understand it, is for the water service, and the other one is for the sanitary sewer service. Are you supposed to be able to have a vent and a shutoff in the same hole, or is there a separate place for the shutoff and the vent? I guess I need a little clarification as to which is for what, and whether or not there seems to be some logic that if you only have the circular cover there, that serves one purpose, either it's a vent or a shutoff.
Yes, so you're correct with your statement. The square cover is more for the water service line. That's the one that should be turning his water. You know, if we was to turn his water off, we would turn it off with in the square box. That's how he get his fresh water into the house. The one that we on is the circle one that's closer to the curb. That is supposed to be the vent pipe. It's not supposed to have that shut off in there. So that's why I was saying, like, he's right with saying that when the plumber said that shouldn't be in there, but it's supposed to be a vent pipe. That's why we served them, because it's not the right thing that's supposed to be there. That still falls on the property owner. And the reason that my inspector goes into the sewer, because once we put dye into that circle one, it still made it it still finds its way to the lateral, which is the last part that's connected to the sewer. That's how we seen the green dye into the sewer from his lateral that's connected to 1265. We also dye tests 1263 lateral and 1267 lateral, which is on both sides of him, to make sure that we're not making a mistake with the one that we're actually going to write the notice for.
So someone, either when the house was built or maybe there was a renovation made to the house, and somehow this line and the shutoff got mixed up in the one vent, in the one hole.
Very possible. And even looking at this picture, it looked like it's a square one that's cemented over that used to look like it used to be the old water box. So even, you know,
I see.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you
All right.
for explaining that. Now I understand. Thank you.
So for the record, we're going to note this matter is continued for at least 30 days. We resume the hearing after the reinspection. Thank you.
Is there,
Mr. Chairman, before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mr. Ellis, I was only trying to protect you. I'm sorry if I questioned you.
No, you're good. You're good, boss.
No problem. Okay.
Can I have,
Anything else from anyone? Yes.
Yes, can I have the contact information for coordinating the site
Mr.
visit?
Ellis, is there contact information for you where Mr. Long should contact you, or should he contact somebody else?
He should contact me. My email is melanie.nezich@phila.gov, and I will give him my client's information.
Okay.
So if I understand, just if I may, that in fact, there may not be a vent pipe. However, the requirement is that there needs to be a vent pipe, and that it may be the responsibility of Mr. Long to in fact install the vent pipe. Even if there isn't one now, there should be one. So that's what I understand to be the situation. So maybe in the course of continuing this matter, Mr. Long can discuss with his plumber whether or not this reinspection needs to take place, because it sounds like he needs to install a vent there.
Correct.
If I may, Mr. Pincus, I was going to make a similar observation in my closing remarks, that in the city's position, there is something defective with the vent pipe. And an absent vent pipe is indeed a defective vent pipe. And therefore the notice would be accurately issued by the City of Philadelphia Water Department and not issued in error.
Okay, thank you. That's noted. We've
you.
agreed to continue this to 30 days. If this is resolved, you don't have to come back. But otherwise, we will see you at minimum of 30 days. Thank you very much for your participation, everyone. Mr. Long, Ms. Ellis, you excused. Ms. Nesich, I believe that's your last matter for today, correct?
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Wade, is that it for us today?
That's it for the hearings, unless you had something for executive session.
I don't believe we do. Does Ms. Emerson, do we need to talk at all?
Mr.